Welcome. We are back to do the rest of the games. Let me know on the sound quality. I think I need to bring that down. Maybe do about there. Is that better? Welcome, Justin, Mad Eye, Barry. How are we both going? It's a very interesting question you raised there. How many are you going to predict together? I've got something that you guys may like. See if it works. What round are we on? Round 22. So we've got 2 rounds to do. Round 22, round 23, and finals. Let's see if that works. Because I did enable it. The start of streams are always fun, aren't they? Are they commands? Okay. It should come up and tell you what your points are. If I edit it, what's response? You have everyone. That should have worked. Good to hear you going well, Mad-Eye. Hopefully people are legit this week. Yeah, this week. Last week. Yeah, we by the end of the stream last week, people were doing some silly ones, but that's okay. It's kind of to be expected, to be honest. So, well, just so that you know, I'll figure out how the point system and be able to show you and everything. But as of last week, you guys have been accruing points depending on how much time you've been in the stream, how much chatting that you've been doing in the stream, and everything that you've been doing and interacting is adding to your points and everything. Now, there's no actual plan of what to do with the points yet, but they're accruing for some stuff. Now, that ladder that you see there is the ladder after a few rounds of our predicting. So obviously round 19 was predicted fairly wrong. I think the stream predicted Collingwood. I think they predicted Brisbane, Adelaide, West Coast. I think Melbourne. I'm not sure who it was between Port and Giants. I think it was the Dogs. I think it was the Cats, and I think it was the Dons. So there were only 2 wrong for the stream last week. But obviously, round 20 is where things went a bit mental. As you can see, we've still got the tips there and the margins as well. And then round 21, we've also got done. That's now round 22 that we've got to start with and get underway. So yeah, some things are going on in the background to help improve like your guys' experience with regards to the streams and the channel. And there are some things that I'm working on in the background to help improve the quality of the videos and the streams and stuff like that. Things like more properly turning this room into a bit of a studio, but that's going to take a few months and everything. Just a bit of an insight for you. So we've got about 6 people here. Welcome everybody. We are going to head effectively straight into this again this time. Was there anything that we needed to touch base with before we kick on in round 22? Should we have a brief chat over what happened over the weekend? Maybe not. You guys are backed West Coast into losing the last 2 weeks. That's annoying. Hello, Sports News King. Welcome. How are you? Now, the stream today is a little bit earlier because I like spending time with my family, so that's why I had to end it last time. Melbourne versus Sydney. Yeah, we've got to get back to doing it this way. Welcome, Jack. I'm very well, King. Thank you for asking. Just spent the day up in IKEA, so that was fun. We should talk about the weekend. All right, we can have a chat about the weekend. We'll go back to that in just a moment, and we'll have a chat about the weekend before we start this, shall we? So round 19. I think I got most of my personal tips correct. I think I only made 2 incorrect tips for the weekend, but I was surprised how early this was. Yeah, I've decided to do a bit earlier this time, so that by the time that we finish up, I still have the night with my family. So, well, what happened over the weekend? So, obviously, Collingwood went down to Richmond. I don't think that surprised many people. I think it might have surprised some of the stream, considering they thought the Pies would win, but the Pies have not been playing great footy. Richmond, I think, are the biggest threat to the premiership run. I think West Coast and Richmond are probably the 2 more informed sides of the competition right now. Geelong is clearly on top of the ladder, but I don't think that they're in form per se. So that was to be expected, but the injuries are still mounting for Collingwood, which is huge, unfortunately for them. I think it makes them quite at odds with regards to tilting for the premiership. I was backing in Hawthorn against the Lions. I thought actually that the Hawks played pretty well for the most part against the Lions, but they were hugely inaccurate and wasteful in front of goal. And I think that cost them the match. I think they probably could have actually won that, or at least had a close game. I think they got to within 16 points in the last 10 minutes of the game, and then Brisbane piled on like 3 goals in a row or something. So it kind of blew it out a little bit by the end of it. Exact same scores, but on opposite sides. Yeah, that's right. For the home games and away games, that's actually been happening a lot this year. I remember at the start of the year, Hawthorn and their opponent scored the exact same score like 3 weeks in a row, including in the preseason. I want to say that kind of thing has actually happened a lot this year. It's amazing to witness. I knew that Carlton was going to win. I had a feeling that they were going to win. Adelaide are kind of crumbling a little bit. And Carlton are getting on a roll. They are playing some smooth footy. I tipped, I think in the video that I released over the weekend, so it might have been Friday or Thursday morning, I said that West Coast would win by 40 points. I said that because North have been good, but they haven't had a big loss yet, and I felt that was going to come against West Coast, and that's what happened. So I'm pretty happy that JK ended up getting 7 goals out of, so happy with that. I can look, Carlton are interesting. They can make the 8, yes. Do they or don't they? That's another question, really. A thrashing of Essendon beating Gold Coast was way off. The 100-point win didn't quite come to fruition there. And welcome, Banana. Welcome back. What else happened over the weekend? The Saints and the D's game was interesting. The Saints, obviously under Brett Ratton, has been very, very good compared to, well, the D's under what's his name? Simon Goodwin. Couldn't think of his name. Thoughts on Cripps' game versus Adelaide? Well, there's a bit of conjecture. Cripps is, according to Champion Data, equal leader. Let's legit predict it. Yes, Banana. Let's not troll anymore. Yeah, Cripps' game against Adelaide was obviously dominant. Actually, he's had a few games this year where he's just been dominant. If not for a bit of injury and a bit of a form lapse, I think prior to the bye, he'd probably be the front runner for the Brownlow, I would think. Port versus GWS was a super interesting game. Again, Port lose that by being inaccurate. You can see there on the scoreline, 7-13 to 8-8. Port just keep shooting themselves in the foot this year. Interesting article came out this morning that the CEO dumps the blame on himself for the reason that they're not performing particularly great, which is interesting. Takes some of the pressure off of Ken Hinckley and the rest of the club and everything. So, yeah, a bit of a clever move by him to just take some pressure off of the club. I don't think McDonald, Took and Woody will leave the Bombers. No, I wouldn't have thought so. I didn't even know that was a rumour going around. Dogs take on the Dockers. That was to be expected. I think I tipped that to be about a 40-point loss to the Dockers there. Cripps, he won't. Yeah, someone will try and pick him up before the next season, I think. No, I would have thought that he would stay at Essendon. What? I haven't heard anything about Tip and Wood leaving. Swans take on Geelong. I actually thought the Swans would get up in this, and they actually looked close to upsetting the Cats. Half-time, scores were level. In the third quarter, Geelong were clearly on top. The last quarter was a bit more even, I felt, but Geelong piled on a couple more goals in the last, I want to say 2 minutes to just extend the lead back out to 27. I think the Swans were within about 19 or something at that stage, and they were pressing hard, but no, didn't quite get there. And then, obviously, Gold Coast and Bombers. I was really, really rooting for Gold Coast to win this. They just fell short in the last minute of the game, unfortunately. I was banking on them winning it, or rooting for them to win it, not just for the Gold Coast's sake, but just to keep the final 8, like the last 4 rounds, to push for the final 8 more interesting. Essendon are now a game clear of Adelaide. If they had lost that, then they're not a game clear of Adelaide. And there are 2 spots up for grabs in the 8 as opposed to 1 in Adelaide's. I don't think the Dons can lose that now. Parrish did sign a 2-year extension with the Bombers. Very good retention by the Bombers there. Dons are the comeback kings. It's interesting, actually, because in each of their last 4 games, they've come from behind to win in the last quarter. Keep seeing things everywhere about Blues fans booking finals tickets. They are mathematically a possibility to make finals, but it's not going to happen. Let's be real. Just before we head on, is the music to mic ratio okay? Music's quiet enough, I'm loud enough, or is the music too loud, or just want to settle on that before we move on. That's good. Alright, happy with that. We move into round 22. We've got 3 rounds down, although round 19 will be changing some things up as to what I think our predicted ladder was. Round 22. You can't hear the music? That's okay. I can hear the music. Round 22. Melbourne take on the Swans. You guys ready to start putting in your votes? Because it's coming up right about now. Melbourne take on Sydney. It's at the MCG Friday night. Who wins this game? Who do you think wins this game? It's a very interesting game because obviously Melbourne are very clearly the second worst team in the competition this year. They are a debacle of a team compared to last year. And I'm very interested, and I actually kind of want to sit down and figure out and try and pin down what's gone wrong for them this year and try and put it in a video before the end of the year. Hopefully I've got enough time to be able to do that. I didn't know what I was going to do after school. Thanks to the stream, my day is good again. Happy to hear it, Jack. John, don't put the brackets around the D's, man. Yeah. The Swans are actually... I feel like the Swans are a better side than what their position entails. Alright, so we've got the results in. Who wins this game? Set the MCG. D's take on the Swans. The Swans. And we've got... Did I just open that back up? No. What did I do there? I messed it up. The D's won it. It was 5 votes to 4. Anyway, that was my bad. I don't know how I did that without completing it. I must have just run it through again instead of to give like another 60 seconds and another opportunity to double down on votes, I suppose. The D's take it, but by how much? Remember that the scores are 10 increments of points. Just going to move that slightly. Sorry for the movement noise of the mic. I don't think Buddy will come back this year. I hope Buddy does not play again this year and they just rest him for next year. There would be absolutely no point, now that finals are off the agenda for the Swans, to bring Buddy back this year. Leave him, shelf him, put him in for any surgeries that he needs or anything, bring him back next year and get a full preseason into him, because I don't think Buddy's had a full preseason under him for, I want to say, about 3 years. Just let him rest. Let him rest, I think. Got a few votes coming in. That's good to see. What are your guys' thoughts on Buddy? If he's fit, does he play the last 4 games? Or not the last 4 games. Maybe the last, like, game or 2 games. Banana. Don't be doing it. 10 points. Close game. Interesting. Could go either way. The D's come up with another win, which is interesting. That's 7 wins that you guys have pegged them to have. Second last and 7 wins. That's amazing. I reckon that's the first time that's happened. Do you know what? I've started the stream exactly how I did last time. And I've gotten distracted. No, get Buddy on ice for next year and have a full preseason. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there, Andrew. How you going, Andrew, anyway, man? It's good to see you. Alrighty, Carlton take on St Kilda at the MCG. 2 games in a row at the MCG on separate days. First game is Saturday. Who takes it? Thoughts on Eddie Betts being dropped? Wrong call for mine, or at least if he was to be dropped. I don't mind Eddie Betts being dropped, but if he was dropped, Tex needed to be dropped before Eddie Betts was dropped. Yeah, that's my opinion on it. I don't mind players being dropped, and I don't think that any one player, regardless of reputation, should be off limits to being put out of the team, as long as it's based on form. But if Betts was to be dropped, Tex needed to be dropped before Betts. That's my take on it. And that clearly didn't happen because he's a captain, and that's unfortunate for the team balance and for the team trust in the coaching group. He shouldn't be dropped, plus he's an ex-Blues player too. Well, that doesn't really mean anything. Alright, you guys have got Carlton winning this game. But by what margin are the Blues taking it? With this, they move up into 11th. That's crazy. Oops. Oh, this next game is going to be juicy. He may have had some influence, I don't know. What do we got? Oh, we got a decent margin run in there. The Saints have been playing better under Brett Ratton as well. It should be noted. They have been playing better Maybe Saints upset with the new coach thing is true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, banana. It's a very well possibility. What's the margin that you've got for Carlton coming up? 30 points. 83% of you voted for that. That's a hefty loss for the Saints. And Carlton, look at that. 97.4% with only 9 wins. Jesus. We didn't vote on the same one. Alright, Brisbane take on Geelong. First versus second according to your ladder. Yeah, who takes that? That's going to be very interesting. They're at equal points right now. So whoever wins this game either retains first spot or claims first spot. Lions are playing very, very well up at the Gabba. And Geelong are a bit down on form as well. But does the stigma of the Lions' previous years haunt them in your deciding factor?
Open the world of music, a new streaming service with the official audio and video, playlists, live performances. You can't find anywhere else.
How to bring the Suns to premiership? Sack due. They win. Sack next coach after like 10 games. You know, it's probably a solid solution that a club will eventually try and do.
And just $11.99 a month after. Cancel anytime.
No longer. Alright, who wins it? Of course, you guys have voted the Lions. Only one vote came in for the Cats, and I'm pretty sure that was Andrew. How much is this margin going to be, though? Is it going to be a big win for the Blues, or just a little tiny win, or maybe just a mediocre win? Next game is actually a bit of a juicy one as well. We heard that Don Pike had a meeting at his home after the loss over the weekend with regards to the stability of the club moving forward and where it sits at right now and everything. Do we think that's going to have an effect on them for the rest of the season? Are they going to pull their heads back together, back in and perform together as a team, or are they just going to continue their awful drop-off? Andrew. Let's be... No, you're not wrong, Barry. I'm pretty sure last week the main contributor to the 100-point fiasco was Banana. Well, they don't really have many other players to play in the ruck. Unfortunately, Jack. And the other ruck players that they have are not that great. What's the margin? 20 points. Okay, I don't have to do anything there. That's a decent margin. I'm happy with that. Adelaide take on Collingwood. Next game is at Adelaide Oval. Adelaide have just had a bit of a kick up the bum from their coach. This is a few rounds down the track. The Pies are stumbling with heavy injuries. Should be noted that our top 8, as it stands here, is all but decided, really. I mean, Adelaide need to have some whopping losses to drop enough percent to let either Port Adelaide or Hawthorn in. But I don't see them having big enough wins and Adelaide big enough losses. So according to you guys in the stream, this is going to be the top 8. It's just basically the deciding team, the deciding placings of the teams that's going to be changing. I'm voting Pies because I'm going to the game. Yeah, Carlton's it's amazing. To be fair, they could actually come up that far because they do keep winning. Who's winning this game? Adelaide. Ooh. Oh, and with that win, they come up above Collingwood are actually in trouble to drop out. Secretly. Although now, maybe. No. They can't. The only team that could have dropped out was Adelaide, but you've got them winning, so that's your top 8. Those are the teams in your top 8. What's the margin? What is the margin of Adelaide beating Collingwood? Both. I hope it's close if we win. I tell you what, this top 8, I reckon, is the closest top 8 that we've had in years. From 1st to 8th. Alright, 3 votes only came in for the margin. I don't get why the Crows don't drop Tex. Like, I know he's a captain, but there's a vice captain for a reason. Yeah, or at least just drop him out and just blame injury or something. I'm not really sure on the specifics with that either, to be honest. 10-point margin. Next game, North Melbourne take on Port Adelaide at Marvel Stadium. North Melbourne probably in better form than Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide are just throwing their season away as best as they can. They were in a pretty good position pre-bye to make a tip for the top 4, really. Since the bye, I think they've won 1 game. They've lost their last 7 games in a row on current form. Votes are coming through. Do you think Dale Morris' AFL career is over after doing his ACL again? That's actually a really good question. I would think his career is over, yes. But this is Dale Morris that we're talking about. And I wouldn't put it past him to just say, nah, I'll go again. Because he's just that kind of player. Alright, who do we got winning this game? We've got North Melbourne. Tex hasn't been the same player that he used to be since he did his ACL, to be honest. And he was only performing well in Adelaide's forward line because Adelaide's forward line itself was functioning. They're not functioning anymore. Yes, I did make that call, Banana. 3 years, in 3 years' time, the Suns will make finals. So that's what, 2022? They'll make finals? Or 2021? One of the 2 years, whatever. Take your pick. I don't mind. Because I do think that they'll get there pretty quickly. No, they're not going to be premiers. But they will be in the finals, yes. Alright, what's the margin that you guys have voted for with the North Port Adelaide game? 30-point margin. What's that do to percentages? Port dropped below 100%, I think for the first time of the year. North Melbourne are catching them on percent. Jeez, look at that percentage for Carlton. That is impressive considering the start of their year. Are we predicting the Brownlow and Coleman? I mean, I can't really do that here. Maybe. We'll see where we're at the end of the stream, Mad Eye. Yeah, Fremantle take on Essendon. It is at Optus Stadium. This game here, Fremantle versus Essendon, it's either going to be Freo versus Essendon or North Melbourne take on Port Adelaide, depending on which game is a bit more important or relevant to the round. Justin and I will be doing a watch party for that game. So we'll be here sitting down watching the game. You can watch it with us, and it'll be a grand old time. Medical Raptors got the Dockers. It's interesting what Geelong have actually done this week too. They went to Sydney to play Sydney. They're not going back to Geelong this week. They're going straight here to Perth to play the Dockers. It's just YouTube live stream. Yes. So same format as what Footy Rivals is normally. So, you know, the camera is on us and everything. We're watching the game, you're watching the game in your homes and everything. And it's basically like you're watching with friends, but across the country. That's the idea behind it. Check it out after the Pies game. Who wins this one? I think you've got the Bombers winning this one. Yep, 80% of the votes. Yeah, Gary Ablett is actually coming down to Mandurah, which is where we are based at. To do like a showing at one of the Sporting Globe shops here or something. How much are the Bombers winning against Freo? And I'd love to be able to go to the Sporting Globe and check out and you know, see Gary Ablett live, because I've never really seen many AFL players in the flesh. But I don't think that's gonna happen. You've got to put exclamation point vote and then the margin man. Just like how everyone else has done it. There you go. Yeah, I'm not sure why Man's didn't go through. This is going to say that it was a draw, but it didn't collect Man's vote. I don't know why. He did that correctly. But it was 20. You are right, Barry. We'll leave that there. What's that do for percentages and stuff? So they are equal on points with West Coast and Richmond, and depending on the next game, sits where the Bombers will sit. Tigers take on Eagles. It's at the MCG. In terms of real ladder that you guys haven't voted on, this is for both of these teams. This is the only game that I see either of these teams losing on the run to finals. So either over the next stretch of the 4 games that we've got left in the proper season, either the Tigers win all of their games or West Coast wins all of their games. I don't see any other results happening. So this game in particular is going to be quite telling in showing and developing the top 4, I think. Welcome, gamer. Welcome. Well, you guys have voted for a deadlock. Okay, we're going to have to run that again. Let's try again. We've got 11 people here. We have 11 people here. We only got 6 votes in. Guys, make sure you leave a vote. Who do you think is going to win? Stan Wiedemann and Kate Kolodjasny are out for the... Oh, really? Damn, I didn't see that. For the real ladder right now, that's a huge... Yeah, this game here is the game of the rest of the year. Out of every single game that we have left for the rest of the year, so that's 4 rounds, this game here is the most important game of the rest of the season. It is defining. It is a defining game. Now, I said on Friday when I uploaded my video that when I did this game, I couldn't actually decide who was going to win because West Coast played very well at the MCG. In fact, they haven't lost at the MCG since the start of last year. But Richmond are coming into some good form in the back end of the year. So I genuinely couldn't decide who was going to win, and I had to flip. I had to flip a coin. So the game here just broke my heart. Essendon versus Collingwood is the second important game. When's that actually? Have we already done that? Might have been done last week. That's why I'm not remembering it. Richmond won anyway. Breaking my heart. You guys, since we've been doing this, you've had the West Coast on a 3-game losing streak. I don't like it. Alright. What's the margin? Let us know. What's the margin gonna be? This used to be one of the all-time classic games a few years ago, but this rivalry in particular has kind of dropped off a bit for the next one. Is the stream lagging for anyone else? Don't tell me it's lagging. It's also a big game for the Cats. If there's no other Victoria team in the top 4, then they play... No, there will definitely be interstate teams in the top 4. And there will definitely be a victor. So Richmond will definitely be in the top 4. Actually, I think the top 4 is decided now. It'll be Geelong, West Coast, not in this particular order. Geelong, West Coast, Brisbane, and the Tigers will make up the top 4. Maybe there was just a spike in lag or something. Alright, what was the margin? What did you guys decide? 10 and 20 points. Okay, let's fix this one up. You got to break the deadlock. Let's go. Break the deadlock. We've almost finished a round here. That's brilliant. It's good for timing. No, we don't have an Instagram, actually. There are some plans in place to increase our reach. Instagram's not really one of them because it's not something that we can really do effectively, because Instagram is effectively a photo. It's a picture sort of platform, and it's not something that we actually do a great deal of. 10-point margin, close margin. I like it. I like it. West Coast drop out of the top 4. That's actually hard to see. GWS take on the Bulldogs. This used to be a really good rivalry. Go back to 2016. But it's kind of fallen away with the Dogs drop off, actually. No, we do have some plans to increase our reach. But a lot of that stuff will probably launch throughout the pre-seasons, throughout the off-season, and ready for next year whilst we go through and do that. There's plenty of AFL news pages on Instagram. That's true, but we're not really a news page per se, and they can dedicate their time to that stuff. We can't, because, yeah, you know, you got to understand that I work like 50-hour weeks and then have a family and everything. There's actually not a great deal of time left to be able to do this. We would love to be able to do it on a more full-time basis, and that's why we're doing some things behind the scenes at the moment to help increase our reach, to be able to try and actually generate even just a small revenue so that we can cut down on our work hours to be able to dedicate more time, which will then allow to bring more in. And then, you know, it's a slow process. Who wins? GWS take on the Dogs. The Dogs win. Fascinating. You guys are all over the shop. What's the margin the Dogs take down GWS? And then we've got the last game of the round coming up. What? Jack's not happy. He's gone with the negative. He's gone with the negative margin. He's not happy, Jan. Yeah, you got some tight margins coming through with this round. Poll's finished. And the margin, 10 points. Close game. The Dogs are actually playing well enough, I think, to beat the Giants at the moment. But this game will take place in a few weeks and form can fluctuate given week to week. Rising Star, is it really a prediction at this stage? It's Sam Walsh. That's a done deal. There is, like, don't get me wrong. All of the other players like Stack and Rosie and there's a few other players there that have had Rising Star winning years in every other year. But Sam Walsh is so far and away the best first year player I've seen since, personally, since Chris Judd or Joel Selwood. He is in that class of player. Hawks take on the Suns. It's at Marvel Stadium. Suns are travelling and not particularly well. Do they come up with a win? Wouldn't be surprised if the Suns won. That's Man's take on it. Yeah, see, once you put a vote in, Banana, that's kind of it. You don't get a redo. But the Hawks come through with only one vote in front, though. What's the margin you guys have got for this one? Mate, Suns are playing particularly well anyway. No, they're not playing... yeah, not over the last few weeks. At the start of the year, they were playing well everywhere they went. But, no, since the bye, since about round 5, I want to say, maybe round 6, they've been pretty poor. They did play very well, Barry. I agree. I actually thought that they would hang on. Because every surge that Essendon had at them, the Suns were able to respond. And then in the last quarter, they just fell away. If that game ended 1 minute sooner, the Suns win. But that's what happens. Alright, what is the margin on this one that you're making it? 10 points. Close game for that one as well. So let's have a look at the at the ladder. You guys have decided over the course of 2 weeks. Brisbane Lions are first place. And their percentage is actually very, very close to Geelong's. Geelong in second place. Richmond in third. In fact, they cannot climb beyond that position anymore. And GWS are in fourth. They can come up and move up into third. West Coast are in fifth. They can come up into fourth. Actually, they can come as high as third, depending on next week's results. The Bombers are in sixth, and they can probably go as high as third as well. Adelaide in seventh, and Collingwood are in eighth. That is your top 8, but the positionings of those will still come down to round 23 that you're going to vote on in a moment. All other teams cannot make finals. Round 23, last round of the year. And this is still a floating round, which is actually really annoying. Because I need to figure out what is happening with this round for personal reasons. My plan is to go to the West Coast Hawthorn game whenever that happens, but I just don't know what day it's actually happening. Mexican is a goat. Fair. He will be. 1 minute earlier, Essendon gets hook and mark, another 10 seconds left, and Dons win. Well, get out of here, Banana, with your logic. All right, with your facts. It's not confirmed. But it's speculated it's going to be Saturday night. I haven't seen it confirmed yet, though. I haven't seen them actually release that yet, but it's highly speculated that's going to be the case. Really bad because of Bolton. I actually do want to do a video on Brendan Bolton, Dean, because I was all for Bolton, but I'm not so much anymore. Who wins, North or the D's? It's not really going to do anything to the top 8, but it is an interesting game to decide how many wins Melbourne ends up despite being second last on the ladder. Yeah. It's very interesting. Collingwood are actually a real chance as of right now to drop out of the top 8 in the live ladder sort of thing. In the actual ladder. Yeah. David Teague all the way. If he doesn't get a signing for senior coach, the club is screwed. I think the consensus is it's either David Teague or in some crazy universe where everything is backwards, if Carlton don't end up signing Alistair Clarkson, who was with the Hawks until like 2022, then David Teague is a lock. That's a fair point, Banana. It's a fair point. Who wins this game according to the stream? North Melbourne with 100% of the votes. Woo! What's the poll? What's the margin? Brisbane Lions for Prem, though. Yes, Bones, yes. I think the Brisbane... I've held this view pretty much all year, actually. Brisbane Lions will make it to a prelim, but fall at a prelim. Genuinely, Collingwood are a very, very good chance to drop out of the top 8 this year. Their injuries are just... Their injuries and their form sucks. I thought AFLX deserved to be scrapped. I know, I love AFLX. The thing I love about AFLX is that everyone knows it's just a light-hearted, stupid, fun little competition, and I absolutely loved seeing the players just have a huge amount of personality, like on and off the field, leading up to the games and everything. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. What's your thoughts on Geelong playing finals at the MCG? Look, as an interstate supporter, I would prefer that Geelong play games at Cardinia for finals, because that is their home ground. And I am all for home ground advantage and so on and so forth. I think that's a pretty big staple mark of the game. 60-point margin, that's a big margin. That's a seriously percentage boosting margin for North. Just shy of 100% for North Melbourne, unfortunately. But that's the end of North Melbourne's year, according to the stream. This game could have as bigger ramifications as Richmond versus West Coast. I don't think it's quite as important as Richmond versus West Coast, but it's probably the second most important game in shaping the top 4 for the rest of the year, actually. Bloody Bonesy in the chat there must be high this year with the Lions coming up for them. It's good, but they weren't utilising it properly. I like AFL because 1, players from other teams get to play with each other, and 2, they're just having a great laugh. Yeah, you should actually... in Footy Rivals on Thursday, so our Thursday night show that we do with Justin, on the show, I made a suggestion, because AFLX has been all but confirmed to be scrapped for next year. And I said to them, why don't they make this instead, okay? Make an all-stars team, make a dream team. Pick out 2 captains. The captains can be Nat Fyfe and Bontempelli, or whoever you want to make the captains, right? And they go through the same draft process as what the AFLX had. So you know, the clubs have to put up the names and everything for the players that are eligible to play in this game, and it's like a State of Origin match, but it's not. Think of the 2008 game where it was, you know, Victorians versus Dream Team, but it's not the AFL choosing these players. The players are choosing the players. So you get that same personality, you get that same feeling of enjoyment that the players have for this game without it being too serious or anything, and the fans get exactly what they want with regards to different players from different teams being able to team up with each other, the best players in the league playing a game against each other. It would be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I felt bad for the Gold Coast on the weekend as well, actually. Tigers versus Lions at the MCG. The Lions have actually sucked at the MCG this year so far. You've got Brisbane winning by 1 vote. Brisbane clear top of the ladder. What the hell? What's the margin that the Lions take? Yeah, big game. $100+. Ah, Bones. I love your optimism, man. What's the margin, though? What's the margin going to be here? Yeah, everyone's got a close match here. 7 votes in, 11 viewers. It's not going to be anything but what has already been voted yet. So the stream, interestingly, 5, 6, 7, 8. The stream, since last week, has voted that Brisbane Lions will finish the year on a 10-win streak. That's insane. No, Carlton will not win every game for the rest of the year because they will lose to West Coast this week, Dean. Alright? 10-point margin. And that's a clear winner. They can't actually be knocked off even if Geelong win. Interesting. Gold Coast take on GWS at Metricon. Well, guys, I didn't vote on that. I wanted you guys to decide whether or not my Catters had a chance at first. Wow, just you would. Yeah, Jack. No chance. To be fair, Brisbane in the votings, Brisbane only had one more vote than Richmond did. So it was a very close one. I love Bones' optimism because I know Bones personally, and I know that he goes to Brisbane. I said at the start of the year in my preseason predictions that Brisbane will finish 7th, and I really strongly felt that, and got a bit of negativity saying that the Lions were no chance to make the finals. But here they are; they're in 3rd spot currently in the ladder. They are a genuine chance to make a tilt for the flag this year, actually. Suns take on the Giants. Who wins? Yeah, the Giants. It's not even a contest. What's the margin gonna be though? Yeah, I think Bones, you'll hold the top 4. This is my personal prediction for the rest of the year. I think it'll be Geelong, West Coast, Richmond, the Lions. That'll be the top 4. And I don't know about the rest of the... I haven't sat down and seriously thought about it, but I've held that view for the past 3 weeks, I think. I should be doing the next match, damn it. Stop being distracted by talking to people. Can't spell. I just want a home final. First time I get to see them in finals. Yeah, I think you'll get a semi-final as a home final. I don't think you'll get a home qualifying or prelim. What was the margin you guys decided? Wait, you know, Bone. Yeah, more not in person, real life, but I know him outside of this channel. Yes. 50-point margin. Whoo! That's going to be a good, decent... Look at that percentage. I mean, compared to the rest of the competition, really, that's actually an outlyingly large percentage. 50 gang. We have Royalty, Sammy, GFs. What? Am I missing a reference there? Port Adelaide take on Fremantle. Who wins? At Adelaide Oval. Oh, I completely misread that as well. Yo, Sammy. How you going, mate? Welcome. Yeah, Bones, we need to play some CSGO too, by the way, man. Or just something. If you want to vote Fremantle, you've got to vote it as Dockers, not Fremantle, Dean. Oh yeah, and make sure that if you haven't already done so, join our Discord, because it is a tremendous amount of fun in our Discord, especially with certain matches that go through. Now, 10 votes came in for that, and you've deadlocked it. How'd you do that? Let's go again. What games do I play? I play a huge amount of games, to be honest, Banana. On PC, I probably frequent CSGO and Rocket League. But in saying that, on the PS4, my favorite franchise of all time would be Final Fantasy. On the Switch, I'm currently playing Tales of Vesperia. I play a lot. I don't play Fortnite. No. I tried to play it a little bit. I was more into PUBG than Fortnite. I was not a fan of Fortnite. Actually, my music has stopped, so I'm just going to take that down. I got AFL Evolution 1. In fact, so on my personal channel, I did a stream of AFL Evo 1, which was one of the biggest scene streams of the game at the time, but it wasn't a great game. I will think about getting Evo 2. I'm not sure yet, though. It's coming out soon, actually. I need to change my profile pic. I don't play Fortnite. Yeah, that's fair. Let's get rid of that. Who wins? Port Adelaide wins. What's the margin that Port Adelaide wins the game, though? Final Fantasy 15 is the best? No, it's not, Dean. I'm sorry. It's just not. No one should play Fortnite coming from an ex-Fortnite, though. Yeah, that's fair. Hey, look. Bones. Wex is online. You get to see that. Alright, let's organise this next game. I like Final Fantasy V. Final Fantasy V is good. 7 is my all-time favourite. I am seriously hanging out for the remake to come out next year, or at least the first part of the remake to come out next year. But I like all the old classics. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 would be the best ones. 12 was okay. 15 was a disappointment. I have not played 15 since it released. I finished it, but I haven't played like all the expansion. I got the season pass for it, but I never played it because I was just disappointed with it. Disappointed with the missing elements that they had with it, unfortunately. Was chatting to Wex the other day. His team have been struggling with roster changes again. That's fair. They always have roster changes and they have too many leaders, and no one at the level that they play at, which is, what would be their the level that their players are at, don't know how to take feedback. What's the margin? That's Port Adelaide beat Fremantle. 10 points. Brilliant. West Coast takes on Hawthorn at Optus Stadium. Can't win against Adelaide Crows. Jesus. Yeah, I tipped that, Bomber. I genuinely thought that was going to happen. Carlton are playing pretty well. Although I personally think, now this is probably me being biased, there is a part of me that is very, very worried about playing Carlton this week. But there is also a part of me that thinks that this will be the first big loss for David Teague. Welcome, CPR Films. How you going, mate? Welcome. What we got? 15 seconds to go. Ridiculous footy from the Dons. Well, they got to win. They got to win. Can't complain. Look, I'm a Carlton supporter, and I know we'll lose to you guys. I hope so, Dean. I mean that in the nicest of ways. We took Eagles on last year, 10-point loss. I think we can make a run. Look, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. They're films. But in saying that, it doesn't matter how West Coast are playing. When they go, they struggle against Carlton. I always have. I don't know why. West Coast. All right. What's the margin? You guys think West Coast will win? I'm good. How are you? Thank you for taking the Pies out last year at the Granny. She from the boundary. Love it. I love it too. You know how much I love it? My missus got this for me for my birthday. I don't know how much of that you can see. Let's bring that up. Right? That's how much I love that moment. It's a brilliant moment. I got to agree with you there, man. Yes, the missus knows how much of a fan I am of West Coast. I have a lot of. I don't have as much stuff as I would like to have. Hello, Wex. How you going, mate? All right. How did that poll go? I need to. Did I go? No, I didn't. I didn't get to go. Do you understand that living in Perth and trying to get to the grand final is about a $10,000 weekend? I don't have that kind of money. 40 points was the most voted on option. Rocket League tonight? Yeah, maybe some point. I said to Bones that I want to play some CSGO with him, so maybe we can all play some CSGO. Wex? What does that do for there? Interesting. And Richmond. Ooh, I'm happy with you guys now. Thank you. Yeah, I don't live in Perth. I might as well say Perth. I live in Mandurah, which is about an hour south of Perth. But, you know, more or less Perth for an interstater. Wow, can't spell. Geelong versus Carlton. This will be an interesting, although it is at GMHBHBAB Duty A. That's a different channel, X. No one has mod on this channel. Like, my old channel still exists. You actually still have mod for my old channel. Wow, I did Geelong as the Blues. That's embarrassing. I'm being distracted by talking to you guys. But I'm also distracted by trying to do this, so I'm not reading all of the chat. I have to bugger off to footy training, believe it or not. No worries, Bones, man. I mean, you got here for a little bit of it, so that's all that matters. That's all good, man. This is best channel. What is your old channel called? Oh, yeah, you don't want to see that. It's not Cleef 101, it's just Cleef. Elliot Yo on Crips. I think that will happen, yes. And I do believe that Yo can beat Crips in that manner. Yo, when he tags, is probably the best tagger in the competition. When he tags. But he also happens to be a very good ball winner. So, you know, they don't need to use him as a tagger all that often. You can actually donate, but through Streamlabs, Wax. Where do you think the D's will finish next year? I think they'll climb back up the ladder. Whether they're a threat or not is to be considered. It depends on what happens with their preseason. I do actually want to make a video on the Demons, so I don't want to go too much into my thought process on them, because I want to release a video before the end of the year on why they have failed this year. Christopher Brownlow, he's a definite chance. I don't think he'll get there, but he's a definite chance. Will be exciting to see. Oh, who wins? Carlton wins. Carlton! Carlton beat Geelong in Geelong. What are you doing? That's crazy talk. What's the margin you guys have got? Top 5 AFL teams? Actually, this was asked... My brother-in-law asked me the other day if West Coast, for whatever reason, let's just say West Coast goes under, they're no longer a team next year. Who do you support? And I went, I don't even know if I would be watching the AFL anymore. Yes, Kingdom Hearts, one of my favourite all-time series. Here you go again. You're making me pull out all of my stuff, man. There's a little Sora there for you, dude. I've played all of the Kingdom Hearts. I'm actually in the process of going through and platinuming all of the games right now. So, yeah. I think I've finished all of them multiple times. What's the margin? Why do you think D slipped so far down the ladder? Well, I'm not going to say it here. I want to do it in a video, Mad Eye. There's actually a number of reasons. It's not just down to one reason, Mad Eye. What's the margin you guys have got for Carlton to win? 20 points. That's considerable. That's considerate. 98.6%. Carlton win 10 games for the year. Jesus. All right. Next game. Bulldogs versus Adelaide. Do you know how annoying it is to type out Adelaide on a keyboard over and over and over again and expect to never make mistakes? Bloody annoying is the correct answer that you're looking for. Wow. I didn't put Crows. I put Cobbers. God damn it. Now I have to spell Adelaide again. Hey Rory, how you going, mate? Who wins, Bulldogs or Adelaide at Mars Stadium? It's not Marvel, this is at Mars Stadium, which is at Ballarat. Crows are first-class pretenders. They are this year, unfortunately, yes. Mad Eye, stop trying to type Adelaide. I'm going to this game. Awesome, man, awesome. Dean, you voted for the Dogged? Make sure to cheer on those Dogged. Given where Freo is on this ladder, you better be doing your certainty punishment or 40 rivals. This isn't my fault, man. Justin, get off my back. I've had no part in this at all. What's actually most funny is Fremantle up to the bye at 6 wins, and for the rest of the year, Streamy's voted that they've only won 2 times for the rest of the year. That's on your clubs. That's your club's fault, man. I had a friend who said kicking a drop punt is hard. Kicking a drop punt is the easiest kick you'll ever do. Everything else is hard. Complete. Who wins? The Dogs win. Can't win the 2020. Well, they will, but like... Love your optimism, man. Love your optimism. Margin on the Dogs taking on Adelaide. What's that going to be at? And whilst you're doing that, I'm going to set up the next one. Collingwood versus Essington. Oh. God damn it. I only kick barrels and bananas. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What team do you think will drop out of the 8 next year? That's a really good question, Medical. It depends on what the 8 is this year, because the 8's not even close to being settled at the moment. By the way, people voted for Crows and it didn't come up. Oh, that's because... Oh, I know why that is. Wait, hang on, really? Do I have to do that poll again then? Let me come back up here. Dogs, crows. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, Sammy voted the crows wrong. The gamer put Adelaide instead of crows, so that's 2. It was only 2 votes, so that's okay. You have 7 missed Discord messages, and it's pissing. Oh, really? Are you messaging me on Discord, are you? Yes, it will. Okay, now I've been distracted because I was trying to figure that out. The dogs would have outvoted the crows anyway. The crows only had 2 votes come through that didn't actually happen. But that's okay because I figured all of that out anyway. We are Essendon, See, Banana, you get the reference. You must have come over from Reddit, I reckon. All right, Essendon taking on Collingwood. That doesn't matter. I'm not fixing that. It's the Pies and the Dons. Who wins? So we're back in the mine. What? Remember, you got to put Dons. Okay, Sammy, you got to put vote before you put Dons, mate. Look at how everyone else has done it. It's exclamation point, vote, space, and then the team that you want to win. Don't forget that one, man. Dons by 30, bro. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Hey, Cam. Welcome, buddy. Wex, you're an ass. If Crows go out of the finals, I'll be going for the Dons. I actually think that the Crows are a real chance to fall out of the finals. But in saying that, everyone that is around the final 8 is trying their damn hardest to not make the final 8. AKA the Hawks. I used to spell Essendon as S on Don. Well, to be fair, I spelt Collingwood as Collingwood. Essendon win with 100%. Interesting. Up the Dons or go for the Hawks. That's interesting, Rory. Why would you ever vote your most hated team? If Crows aren't in the 8, I'm in watching every Sturt game ever. Collingwood. Yeah, that's pretty much about right, Wex. What's the margin that you guys are voting for here? How much do the Dons win by? And then we have the last home and away game to decide. Sydney versus St. Kilda. Oh, of course I forgot to take those out, didn't I? There we go. If the Crows go out, I'm going for Brisbane. Fair, Mad Eye, fair. I'm just going to be going for West Coast the whole time. So, and then from there, I'll still be watching the finals because I have to, because it's my job for this channel. A couple of margins that have come through. It looks to be a bit of a deadlock. I don't understand the numbers, but you know I want to be involved. Fair, Wex. Avengers theme. Yeah, I was very happy. If I had a camera on me for that for the game last year, it will not have been great in the opening quarter. I can tell you that much. I had 2015 flashbacks. I had NARB flashbacks, man. 20 points and 30 points. You got to break the deadlock. How much do does Essendon win by? 20 or 30 points. I had PTSD attack from watching this sport. I did. I was like fully like almost depressed and shit from the first quarter. And then, right, after we hit the front with Sheed, Jack Darling drops a bloody mark on the goal line. Right? Numb flashbacks, guys. Numb flashbacks. They're real. Did I not actually start the poll? Did it not? Alright then. There you go. What was it like when they won though? Yeah, no, I was jumping over the moon, man. Zach was scared when the final siren won. Zach was scared, so yeah, that happened. Because I was just yelling. I was like, yeah! But you know, this year we will be doing a watch party of the grand final, regardless of whether West Coast is in there or not. And so everyone can see my reactions of the grand final as it plays. And, you can react with, and it's just a jolly old good experience to have with everybody. But I'm also super nervous for that, because if West Coast do make that and don't perform well, I don't know how I'm going to be on camera. Hurry up and do Saints Swans. All right, Rory, I'm getting there. 30-point win. It's your guys' fault. I'm distracted. Surely you let me come watch it with you. Maybe. Would have gone crazy. Yeah, I would imagine so. Sydney take on the Saints at the SCG. Last game of the home and away season. I don't think Essendon make the grand final. I think anyone in the top 5 can make the grand final at this stage. But I think that's about it. You're getting mad, and I said, "Oh, man, if I support Gold Coast too," and everyone laughed. That's when you know that you're a winner. When everyone around you laughs at your joke. What about Freo fans? I know a lot of Freo fans, and alternatively, a lot of West Coast fans that actually support the crosstown rival as long as they're not playing each other. What do you think about the grand final at Twilight? I don't mind it. I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't really care. As long as it's played, I don't care when it's played. Alright, who wins? Saints or Swans? It's actually pretty close. Sydney, just. But what's the final margin that you have for Sydney? Free fans are... I'm not reading that wax. I'm Collingwood joke. It's football's greatest joke. That and Ninthman are footy's greatest jokes, I think. You got the Collie Wobbles. It should still be called Etihad Stadium, like Etihad. Well, it depends on... It's not quite right. Hey, Riley, welcome. I'm tuned in now. Brilliant. You tuned in just in time for the finals, really, because this game doesn't have any bearing on the actual ladder, per se. Actually, it doesn't. Well, actually, it knocks Fremantle down another spot. And I'm sure Justin will love that. Ben Cousins and Daniel Kerr? That's not spelled right. Alright, what's the final margin of the final game for the home and away season of 2019? 10 points. So, to round down before we go through the finals, well, my team not in finals, so it'll be easy to watch. Brisbane Lions finished 2 games clear on top of the ladder. Geelong go on a horrendous losing streak, but still win 15 games for the year in second spot. GWS take up third spot with an impressive percentage. second best in the league. West Coast round out the top 4. Yep. In 5th spot, Essendon. 6th is Richmond, who kind of fell away despite their current form. Adelaide in 7th, and Collingwood round out the top 8 that you, the stream, has voted for. Very interesting. So week 1, Brisbane takes on West Coast. Essendon takes on the Pies in an elim final. Richmond takes on Adelaide in another elim final. And Geelong take on Greater Western Sydney, which will probably be played on a Sunday at the MCG. Interesting games. This first game is going to be played up at the Gabba. Okay, let's be honest here. We can't expect GWS to stay there. Same with Brisbane Lions, and West Coast should be in the finals. Yeah. I support Hawthorn. We don't accept your kind here. Alright. Brisbane take on West Coast. Lions and Eagles. Who wins? It's up at the Gabba. Who wins? If Crows play at the G, I'd struggle to go. I'd get flashbacks to the last week. That's fair, gamer. That's fair. I don't think Adelaide will really make too much of an impact this year unless they get their act into gear from now. Banana, make sure you got no text after Lions. If you want to vote for the Lions, you're going to have to... Oh, no, it did work. Okay, last time that happened, it didn't. Never mind, I take it back. Zip it shut. Eagles got another chance. That's why you're going for the Lions? Okay, fair enough. 11 votes have come in. Awesome. I'm happy with that. Happy, happy, happy. Not really happy with who you voted for. But you know, happiness is relative, I guess. It's relative. Brisbane go through to a prelim. A home prelim. The poll, you know, the margin doesn't actually matter here because we're not deciding percentage. Percentage has no bearing on finals unless you're trying to make the finals. %63% of people are gay. Well, that statistic might be a little skewed. Essendon take on Collingwood. This will definitely be at the MCG. Actually, there'll be 2 games at the MCG. Geelong will have their final at Cardinia Park. Hey, Barry, let's be fair. Elton John had a wife and I think a kid. And look what happened there, man. Essendon versus Collingwood. Elimination final. Whoever loses is just knocked out. That's it. Done. Goodbye. Gonskis. 1 out of 3 people statistically gay, and I know Ryan and I are not gay because our tips didn't touch. Oh, that's not very good. Geelong choke. Purely so Woosha keeps his job. I like your thinking there, Cam. I like your think. I think even if they lose a final, he still keeps it. Who wins? Essendon, 66.67%. Another home team eliminated. Wow, it comes up with... Boo! Take that, Collingwood. You're eliminated. Jesus. Richmond takes on Adelaide. Do we really need to vote on this? I think we're all pretty decided who's going to win this one. based on current form at least. Spaniard, you're up. Oh, what's your team? You go for the Pies? You done? All right then, man. Wait, stop voting. I haven't started yet. Go now. Jesus. You can't. You've just looked at the Streamlabs name come up. You haven't actually looked at what came up. See, there you go, Wex. There's the donate there, man. Adelaide, come on, Crows. We can do it. Holy, that's a lot of votes come through very quickly. We have 17 people here. Awesome. I won't be in my house if Pies and Dons play in Elim because my parents go for the respective sides. Well, all the more case to be able to, you know, snuggle up to the winner and get lots of gifts and call the loser a loser. It's probably the only time you'll actually be able to call one of your parents a loser. Actually, I will get flashbacks to the last time we played a final at the G. If Adelaide best Richmond, I will give you $25. Well, that's fair, Dean. I don't see that happening. All right, who wins? We got some votes in for Adelaide, actually. But Richmond was the winner. Another home team eliminated. Boo. I'm such a West Coast supporter. Last game for the first week of finals. Geelong takes on GWS. Wait, stop voting. Stop. Now you can start voting. Disgusting Victorian bias. So Athens plays Richmond. That's so hard. Finals are always hard. I hate predicting finals. Guys, you can actually do your votes now. Anyone who was a bit early and jumped the gun, then you jumped the gun. You just have to do it again. Dons play Eagles. No, it crosses over, doesn't it? It'd be. Oh yeah, no, the Dons don't take on Richmond. It would be, I think the Dons would take on the winner of this game. Richmond takes on West Coast because you flip it, do the old flipperoonie. Wow. I think Geelong choke as well, but I think they choke in a prelim. I don't think they choke in a qualifying. Everyone going to the Area 51 raid are GWS supporters, and there'll be none left. Well, you voted for GWS. Jesus. In the most landsliding of votes that we've had so far in the finals. Semi-final. West Coast takes on Essendon. Versus Essendon, West Coast, Essendon Dons. All right, here you go. West Coast take on Essendon at Optus Stadium. Week 2 of the finals. Who wins? We are Essendon. Yes. That's a good point, man. They suck after buys, don't they? We're having some tinfoil on my head. Vote Dons. Come on, you bummers. No banana. No. Bad. Jeez, there are some votes coming. You guys are getting really passionate about the finals. We were getting like 5 votes here maybe for the regular home and away games, but we got 8 in so far, and I think the last game had like 11. Passionate about finals. 10 votes have come in. See the bombers fly down, down. They're crashing towards the ground. It rhymed. You see what I did there? Who wins? Eagles or the Bombers? Well, the Bombers didn't quite make it to the flag. Sorry. Eliminated. I love seeing that there. That is such a big, like, fuck you to the face if you support that team. Fuck off, banana. Alright, next game. Geelong versus Richmond. It's down. No, this will be at the MCG. This won't be. So their last game, week 1 of finals, according to you guys, will have been played at Cardinia. This will be played at the MCG, though. It is actually a child-friendly channel, but, you know, what are you going to do about it? Alright, Geelong versus Richmond. Here we go. I am in incognito mode. I'm in incognito mode so that... Because I've done my own prediction and I didn't want any of that to affect this. I guess now I have to go for the Eagles. Yay, Barry! It's at the MCG. That is correct, yes. I've actually left this browser up and open for a week to rally on from last week. I feel the Tigers 27 shades. They are starting to feel like they're getting that kind of form, aren't they? Hello. You on your bike? I got that bike. Okay. Hello.
Open the window.
No, I'm streaming.
Oh.
Yeah. And you guys shouldn't be there.
And we like your life.
Yeah. You've got to go.
Daddy.
Hello.
Daddy.
Go to Zach.
Okay.
Jesus. 11 votes come in. All right. Go Tigers. Make my AFL season seem half good. Richmond. Geelong out in straight sets. Bang. Geelong. You suck at finals since 2011. See, I am kid friendly. That's right. I have kids as fans. Prelim number 1. Brisbane versus Richmond. At the Gabba. Should be said, this is at the Gabba. Richmond and... I haven't started yet. Why do you guys get started early? Richmond versus Brisbane. All right. Richmond Tigers, Brisbane Lions. Here we go. This is for a spot in the grand final. It's played at the Gabba. Lions, we are the pride of Brisbane town. Votes coming in. 7 are already in right now. Richmond are good away. Yes, that is very true. Spaniard or Jason? Which one would you prefer? They were good in their premiership year, actually. 2017, they were good away. No, actually, no, they weren't. They were horrible away. That was all of their games that they lost was away. I've got that around the wrong way. Wow, this is a commanding... 10 votes have come in. This is... Yep, that happened. According to the AFL Access stream, Brisbane have made the grand final. Eliminated! Get out of here. GWS versus West Coast. Now, I don't actually know where this would be played. Because it wouldn't be played at any of the Giants' home games. They don't have the seating capacity for it. Does anyone know where they would actually play a final now? Because their only home final that they've ever played was at ANZ, which obviously can't host AFL games anymore. I don't actually know where they would host a game. I have to look into that, actually. Alrighty. GWS takes on West Coast, 3rd versus 4th, for a spot in the grand final. Who wins? They played the 16 prelim. Oh, did they? Okay, so it gets played at Spotless. Now, Spotless has the same dimensions as the MCG. This is going to be a close one. This is actually a very close one. A part of me, boys, what are you doing? Eagles are going to win. 9 votes have come in. 9 votes so far. And this has been split by 1 vote so far. So if you want to get it in, you got to throw in your vote. Because this is a close one. 11 votes have come through. That's it. For a spot in the grand final, GWS takes on West Coast. Who wins? Hey, Tree Footy, welcome, man. Oh, well, I should say welcome, Jesse. Alright, my stream will update in a moment. There we go. West Coast for a spot in the grand final. Brisbane Lions take on West Coast Eagles. West Coast, don't say that, Dean. Just missed it, but thank God the Eagles won. Alright, we got one more to go through. One more game to go through. Who wins, according to the stream, the 2019 Premiership? There's your votes. Jesse, why haven't you uploaded in such a while? Oh, yeah. Jesse's been in Europe for like a month, and he's only just getting back. I don't know when he gets back. Next couple of days, I think. If not already. No, yeah, that's right. It's what this would be the first interstate grand final since, I actually want to say, since 2006. Yeah. 2006 was the last interstate grand final. 10 seconds left. If you have not already decided who you're going to be voting for, you've got to get that in right now. 10 votes have come through. And here we go. The AFL Access stream, the community, you guys have decided that Brisbane are winning the 2019 Premiership. There you go. oh, True Footy. There's a bit of bias in this stream. Don't get me wrong. you need to go back and watch both of these streams when they come out as VODs. 2004? I saw someone said 2004. No, 2006 was the last interstate grand final. So far. Just not happening. That's quite the dum-dum. That's funny. I think if that game played out, it would probably be West Coast that wins. But in saying that, I do actually think West Coast are a genuine chance to go back-to-back this year. But that is what the streamers decided. Trollish, not trollish. You guys decide. You guys let me know. This will come up as a video in the next couple of hours. So, you know, let us know your thoughts in the comments when it comes out. I will be ending this here. Now, it was said earlier in the stream, would we be going through and doing things like the Rising Star nomination and stuff like that? I'm going to do that, but not today. Maybe next week, just because it leaves another stream to be able to do next week. I love doing this. This is absolutely awesome. And it gets you guys involved in a way that we can't do on, say, Footy Rivals and stuff, where you actually decide things like this. So what we're going to do next week, maybe next week, maybe I do it in the bye week after the season's finished. Not sure. We're going to do the Rising Star nomination. We're going to do the Brownlow predictor. We're going to do common... next week we can do the common medal winner. Who's going to win that? Things like that. The individual award side of things. If I've got time, we can do another one next week to go through and do that as well. Otherwise, you guys decided Brisbane Lions for the winner. Congratulations, the Lions. You are the winner of the 2019 AFL Premiership in round 20. Thank you very much for coming in and joining in on that session. That was absolutely brilliant. I love doing that. I absolutely love doing that, actually. Make sure, if you haven't done so already and you did like it, make sure you leave a thumbs up on the stream. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Join our Discord as well. That's pretty important if you want to interact with us on a more daily basis as opposed to just at the streams. Because they are actually quite fun, especially when games are being played. And Justin and my certainties are on the line. We will be doing the certainties this week. I've got to do my punishment. I'm going to be eating an onion. Catch that on Thursday night, Footy Rivals. That's going to be fun. Looking forward to that. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, thank you very much for coming in and finishing this off. That was absolutely awesome. So can't wait to do it again next week when we go through and predict the individual awards for the rest of the year. Thank you very much. And as always, this has been your AFL Access. Bye.